right, so we're on to Detroit. This is a good football team, in all three phases, and a team we don't know all that well, so we're kind of getting familiar with them. Obviously, trying to introduce them to our guys. Explosive team, really in all three phases. Got good skill players, use them all. Good balance of running pass. Quarterback's playing very efficiently right now. Line's good. Most of them are young and physical. The defense, very a good rush. Hutchinson's obviously, he's a really good player. Great effort. Their front, I think, doesn't get enough credit. There's a lot of guys that are disruptive. Two linebackers, two safeties are their top tacklers, and they do a good job of flying to the ball. You can see the way that they play, and they're very opportunistic. Get their hands on a lot of footballs, a lot of PBUs, a lot of opportunities for turnovers that they create. And kicking game, punters is probably as good as we're going to see. Great hang time, placement. We know about his accolades as a passer too. He's done some of that too. So very aggressive team. Nobody's gone for it more than they have on fourth down this year. So you can see their style and their philosophy kind of rings true in all three phases. And obviously this will be a really good test for us on the road. Be I'm sure a great environment. So the only other thing on the roster is we're going to start Curtis Bolton's clock for return today, so he'll be out there on the practice field.
Any update on Jimmy Garoppolo?
He'll be out there.
Okay.
Yep.
So is he?
Hopeful.
Okay.
Yeah. As long as we don't have any, anything goes the other way.
Right.
We're very hopeful that that'll be the case. Yep. That's it.
You mentioned Aiden and how disruptive he can be. How much does it help having Alex Max you guys practice against?
Yeah. It's their styles are a little different. And their defense, they play a little bit of a different defensive structure than we do. But obviously, practicing against a really talented player on the edge is only helpful in these cases. Again, it seems like every team has one. You hope they don't have two. But whether it was Mac or Bosa, and we've played a litany of them so far this year. This guy plays with an incredible motor, great effort. If you ever stop playing before the play's over, that's where he's really gonna. He makes a lot of plays in that regard. Finds the ball. Very savvy player. Understands when the quarterback sets and is going to get rid of it quick. Times he stops his rush and jumps and tries to get his hands on the ball. So, just really a lot of respect for the way he's playing, how he's playing so early in his career.
It's a team that doesn't blitz a whole lot. They kind of rely on their front four.
Yeah.
From an operational standpoint and passing in that, what kind of challenges does that present?
Yeah, well, there's more people in coverage, and Aaron does a great job of mixing up. He played in the secondary for a long time in his career, so he understands the trouble that could provide, in the passing game. Played a lot of different variations of zone. They do a great job of disguising the coverage. And when they don't blitz, there's 7 guys back there that they can utilize to try to disrupt throwing lanes and get underneath patterns, so on and so forth. So mostly a zone team, but they do a great job of they have vision on the passer. They understand route concepts, and that's why they, I think, 4th or 5th in the league in passes defensed. And so for a team that doesn't play a ton of man-to-man coverage on first and second down, that's really that's a glaring statistic. It means that they're getting to the football and they're reading the quarterback well. So, you got to do a good job of protecting the middle of the pocket so that the vision, they start to see the rush too. I've always thought the best zone teams can feel the rush, and when it's about to get there, then they just go ahead and go to where they think the ball is going to be and be thrown. So, it's going to be a real test for our protection to keep ourselves, safe in the pocket so that doesn't start to happen, and then they start to get extra time to break on the football. So just a well-rounded team, well-rounded scheme. Don't give up a lot of big plays. Only team that hasn't given up a touchdown outside the red zone. So they're going to make you drive it, make you be disciplined and detailed, and execute. For the length of the drive.
When you're looking at your offensive problems this season, is it too simple to say you should be more aggressive, or is there more to it than that?
I think there's part of it. We can. I think part of it is. you know, that's, I think there's definitely elements of that, but I think there's, you know, you can point to a number of different things that we could do a little bit better. I don't think we have to do everything different. I think we have to do a lot of little things, you know, a little bit better, you know, and part of that could be that, Vic, you know, I mean, you know, just giving ourselves more opportunities maybe on some things like that. I think the aggressive kind of, you know, what does that mean? Does it mean throwing it 50 yards down the field? Maybe not every time, you know what I mean? I think there's ways to be aggressive, you know, without throwing bombs and, you know, and those kind of things too. So just, you know, I think we got to execute, you know, give ourselves some opportunities and, you know, like I said, do a lot of little things a little bit better.
When you look at Josh Jacobs in practice now, are you seeing the same Josh Jacobs as last season? Any differences?
Yeah, no, I see the same player, you know, and you know, we've talked about this a lot. You know, it's a team effort in terms of being able to do the right things and provide opportunities for ourselves in the running game. You know, but no, I see the same, JJ.
A lot of the offensive line, as we talked about, is back from last year. You know, I know you guys had a little bit of a slow start in the run game last year. They started to
Yep.
Build some momentum after a couple of weeks. Why do you think that hasn't translated maybe to the start of this season?
You know, like I said, if there was one thing, Sean, I think we would have, you know, already, you know, done whatever that is. I think, you know, just we got to settle in on, you know, what we're doing, try to do it better, you know, and if we need to, you know, do less things and do them more times, then that's what we're trying to do. I think just, you know, in general terms, working together and trying to, we're all the solution, you know, it's not just one player or, you know, one thing. I think all of us have a role to play in that, and, you know, I think our guys understand that, embrace the mentality that we need to have, you know, and just, you know, we've talked a lot about it, you know, it's time for us to go out and do it better.
Throughout your career, you've been somebody that's known to use a lot of different run concepts, pretty much the whole menu. Have you had success in the past? Maybe we're condensing it in certain situations.
Yeah. I mean, I think every team is different. Honestly, every year is probably different too, in terms of what you do and how well you can do it. You know, and trying to, you know, play to the strengths of your team. You know, whether that's tight ends, your guards, or certain, you know, good pullers, your tackles, you know, whatever in space. And so, I think you just, you know, gotta try to, you know, really nail down exactly, all right, what have we done well, what haven't we done well, and try to, you know, do that. We do that every week, and we're trying to, you know, obviously focus on the things that we do the best, and then keep doing them, you know, as well as we can, you know, and try to improve maybe in some other things so we don't become too predictable because you're so simple that now you're getting everything defended. So there's got to be some complementary run schemes, you know, to help, you know, those things last as you go through the course of a long season.
You were part of a team that saw Jared Goff, a younger Jared Goff, in the Super Bowl. Seeing that Jared Goff to this Jared Goff, anything that you've seen that he's doing differently or better, or?
You know, I mean, I think this guy obviously he's had a really good career so far, you know, and you know, he early in his career there was a lot of deep throws, a lot of deep balls, a lot of big plays. Obviously, LA had an incredibly explosive team, and he was a big part of why that was that way. I think if anything, as he's matured, you see his efficiency go up, you know, his decision making is really good, you know, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes with the ball. You know, he's aggressive when he should be, and he's really smart and protects the ball if something's not there. So you know, I see a really good football player, you know, really has matured and improved as his career has gone on. Obviously, he's been in two different places, you know, with two different schemes relative to what they used to do in LA. So just a lot of respect for him. I think he's a really good player, and obviously it'll be a big challenge for us on Monday.
After a game like last week, you look at making personnel changes, or is your best team already on the field, you think?
You always look at everything, you know, Vic. I mean, I think if you have a game or a stretch where you don't do as well as you want, I think you look at it and try to, you know, what are the you know, ways we can improve. You know, is it just performance? Is it execution? Is it personnel? Is it decision making? Is it play calling? I think there's a lot of ways to improve. You know, so we've tried to look at everything. You know, having the longer week always gives you a little bit extra time as a staff to try to put some time into that. You know, and make some decisions that you think will be productive. which is what we've tried to do. So we're going to consider everything we can to try to put the right spot, the people in the right spots, and then put them in the right positions and call the right stuff.
You guys did bring in a kicker this week.
Yeah.
Is there any concern for Dan?
I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously you got to protect yourself. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's what we're doing, and we'll kind of see how this week goes. You know, but it's, you know, if that's the case, there's nothing more important than being able to do that. So, we'll just, you know, see how Daniel's feeling as we go through the week, and make the right decision at the end of the week here based on, you know, how that's going. You know, whether or not we need to do something else in terms of elevate him and all the rest of it.
How big of an emphasis will there be in practice this week on tackling and making sure you're positioned not to miss tackles like
Yeah.
last week?
Angles, breaking down, being under control, using your help. You know, I thought, you know, we had the stretch there where we were doing a really good job. I thought of coning the ball carrier and trying to really, kind of stop the added yards. You know, and last week certainly wasn't our best. So, you know, I think they know that. We want to get back to the right mentality of playing good team defense, getting to the football, you know, and just trying to stop all the extra yards that we gave up last week.
You guys good? All right.
Okay.